Now, Jesus prepared his disciples for what was coming and the problems they were likely to face in the generation before the end of the Old Covenant finally came. And Jesus warned his disciples and prepared them for their sonship in the New Covenant. And he said, beware the leaven of Herod and the Pharisees, the political and religious spirit, or the mediatorial control and conformity. Now the Father began to speak to me and challenge me about these things. And he said this, he said, don't worry, do not be afraid. Trust that because we are in you, if you ask for something good, experiential truth or revelation, we will not allow deception and delusion. Now, why did the Father say that? Well, because I obviously was afraid to trust. He was trying to get me to see it's okay. I'm not going down some wild path. And, I remember someone saying, you're on the slippery slope away from orthodoxy. And I remember thinking at that point, yep, and I'm going to ski down that slope as fast as I can, because I do not want to be stuck in evangelical orthodoxy, which is not what the early church believed at all.
This is an excerpt from Mike's current teaching series, Restoring First Love. Get the full-length videos every month only at eg.freedomark.org/first-love.
Again, the Godfather went on. He said, those who have been deceived were leaning to their own understanding and never learned to hear our voice and know our hearts. What we could not reveal to those first disciples has been continually released over the centuries to those mystics who took the time to listen for our voice. You can all go beyond to find and fulfill your destiny without fear. Don't be held back by fear. Perfect love casts out fear. Let God, as perfect love, cast all fear out of you so you can walk into the future with excitement and with joy and with peace and not be afraid. Walking with the Father will begin to take you beyond your comfort zones to explore the dimensions of your positions within the fabric of creation. There is no limit. You're going to go beyond. There's no need to fear deception when you know the Father's love. Again, the Father said to me, son, a new day is dawning where so many more of my children will truly know me as a loving Father. I am revealing myself to those who are willing to look and seek first of all, but I am relentless in my pursuit and I will never stop. And I love that about God. He is relentless in his willingness to pursue us in love, and he will never stop. His love will never fail. Again, the Father went on, there is nowhere I will not go, as my love is unrelenting and unstoppable. There is nothing anyone can do to stop me loving them. They put me on the cross, but I chose to forgive them and use their own rejection and punishment to facilitate their reconciliation. I created all things for relationship. I have always had relationship with all things, but the time is coming for all things to know me. I gave myself as an offering for all who have become lost and independent from before the foundation and the fall of all created things. I cannot and will not be changed by anything or anyone. I am that I am, and that is spirit, love, and light. My precepts, statutes, and principles are the immovable foundations that cannot be shaken or moved. I am the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I am love's purest expression, have the deepest desire that all my children, past, present, and future, will choose to accept my love and know me, so they can truly know themselves. Now that is what God is saying today and wants us to embrace. We really need that personal, intimate relationship with him to experience all that his name unveils and be transformed so we can know our true sonship identity. Our governmental position and our authority will reveal where we are seated in heavenly places if we just keep following. Zechariah 3:7 says this, if you walk in my ways and perform my service, then you will both govern my house and be in charge of my courts, and I will grant you free access among these who are standing here. And they were standing in the realms of heaven in the assemblies of God. This describes our functioning as sons of God in heavenly places. But we need to know God as Father by personal experience if we're to mature as sons and learn to rule his house, take charge of his courts, and stand in the assemblies and councils of God, which is our destiny. It's our destiny as sons of God. We need to be prepared for this level of transformation so that we can embrace who we really are. When we know we are genuinely accepted and loved, fear dissolves and we become free to know and be known. In this freedom, there's a fellowship and a sharing so honest and open and real that persons involved dwell in one another, and he dwells in us and we dwell in him. There is union without loss of individual identity where hearts are shared. We become one spirit when we're joined with him. Again, God spoke and said, the times and seasons are shifting, and the wheels within the wheels within the wheels are being aligned to open the chancellor's houses, and a new season of grace has come out of the last season of justice. And this is a heavenly pattern: judgment, justice, grace, mercy, rest. And it cycles through those seasons. And that happens during a year, that happens in a decade, that happens in a century. This happens because this is a pattern, and God aligns things in the realms of heaven to facilitate seasons changing, and those seasons are seasons of transformation. And the four angels that are connected with me, with our ministry, if you like, we're four angels of transformation, and they embraced us. They embrace me whenever I travel. They travel with me because they're an order of angels. You can engage them. You can ask them to help you in the transformation process. The four angels are transformation, winds of change, sound of many waters, and refiner's fire. And they help us, and they're willing to help in our process as we pursue and allow God to do it. Because these seasons are changing and God is at work. And God continued, an increase in governmental authority will be the result when the sons of God arise to be seated, enthroned, and ready to bring agreement as gateways of heaven into the earth. And that is who you are, a gateway of heaven into this earth. New earthly foundations must be laid, and the atmosphere must be cleared so that the everlasting doors can be opened and the glory of the children of God can be displayed through sonship on the earth as it is in heaven. And as we are embracing heaven, we begin to outwork it on the earth as his sons. Issue the call, re-energize the blue light. Now, the blue light was something I sent out probably back in 2013, 14. God said, send out a blue light. I sent out a blue light. I had no idea what I was doing. I just did it because God said it. And within weeks, people were contacting me saying that they engaged this blue light. That blue light was a call to draw people into a relationship and into their positions of sonship and governmental authority. So issue the call, re-energize the blue light call for the sons of God to arise and take their places of responsibility within the tree of life. Inspired, I began to make some declarations based on what the Father had decreed to me. And I didn't sit down and try and work it out with a piece of pen, paper, and try and figure out what should I say. I just let this stuff come out of my spirit. And as I said it, I wrote it down. I didn't write it down so I could say it. I said it and I wrote it down and recorded it. And I used these declarations back in 2018 when I made them, which is quite a long time ago now, 6 years. But they're still vibrating with energy and light because God is still doing this. This is God's call to us to arise and shine, to come into our position of sonship. And so I made these declarations and I want to declare them again today. I want to declare them over you. I want to declare them over all of our patrons. I want to declare them into the atmosphere because I believe that God will continue to use them to bring about the change and transformation necessary for us to be fully functioning in our sonship. So as I make these declarations, I would encourage you, don't try and figure them out. Just let the Spirit engage you as I make these declarations. I call for the light to shine, to penetrate the veils of darkness and deception over those under the coverings of men. I call for the angelic messengers to go forth with the call to cross over beyond the veil into inheritance and birthright. I call for those whose hearts are beginning to ask the question, there must be more than this, to begin to connect with others on the journey through the word of mouth, sound frequencies, heart-to-heart connections. I call for the frequency of sonship, to call the sons of God to arise and resonate with their destiny scroll, to tune into destiny's call and hear the cry of God's heart. I call for true love, to release the true identity of sons, for the true heavenly positions to be unveiled and revealed. I call for the scandal that has twisted the character and nature of a loving God to be revealed, so that love can penetrate all the religious systems, both Catholic and Protestant. I call for the revelation that will call all from religion, out of religion, with truth. I call for love to be poured out and love bombs to be exploded to expose the lies that have hidden the reality of God's true essence and man's full inclusion. I call for heaven's light to shine, to burn brightly, to attract sons like moths to a flame. I call for the revolution of the circle of the deep to begin the new season. Precepts, statutes, and principles align, to open the ordinances, to align ordinances, mantles, and weapons, to open the scrolls, to align scrolls and discoveries and commissioning, to open affairs of the nations, culture, and the treasury house, that align precepts and precepts to bring the end and the beginning together in unity and harmony. I call for the 70, the council, to release grace, grace upon grace, and greater grace into the earth, to facilitate the times and seasons for the Joshua generation and the arising of the sons of God. I call for the Father's heart and mind to cause the voice of Almighty God to resonate in the heavens and the earth. I call for the voice of El Shaddai, El Gibor, El Elyon, El Emet, Elohim, El Hakavod, El Hashem, El Shannon, El Rakum, El Hanora, to sound the heralding call into the wilderness of man, for children to arise, cross over the Red Sea and Jordan into the promised land of sonship. Just let those words vibrate over you. Embrace them. Let them resonate in your heart. Respond to the call. Rise up. Take your places. Proverbs 18:10 says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runs into it and is safe. Within the four faces of God, we are in the name of God, carry his power of attorney to be identified with the order of Melchizedek, identified with that name, to govern and administrate in that name, to rule and legislate in that name. We're called into a position of sonship, to arise, to embrace our destiny, to embrace the truth of who we really are, to come into our full identity and origin. I believe God is re-emphasizing this call. So let's enter into an encounter with God right now. So I'd encourage you to close your eyes and just begin to slow down. Slow down your thinking. Focus your thinking on God. Start to focus your breathing. Breathe deeply and slowly. As you breathe in the unconditional love of the Father. Breathe it in and breathe it out. slowly drawing closer and nearer to that place of rest. So that love, the love of God, can surround you so you can be still and let God love you. So be willing to step out of that boat, sinking into that vast ocean of unconditional love. Sink deeper and sink deeper and deeper into love. The Father wants to meet you face to face. You can fix your thoughts on seeing the Father face to face. And as the Father embraces you, just be open to go wherever the Father leads. Don't fear. He is safely guiding you, protecting you, keeping you safe, opening up heaven for you to experience, leading you, may take you to go and stand within His name, within the four faces of God, to reveal your identity in the order of Melchizedek, engaging the faces, the man, the lion, the ox and the eagle, and standing, looking at the world through the eyes of the man, of the king, the lion, the ox, the oracle, and the eagle, the legislator. As you stand in the name of God, the Father reveals your true identity in sonship, your position of governmental authority. Embrace it. feel free to stay in that place of intimacy and love for as long as you want.